Bienvenidos de nuevo a Oportunidades en Grecia, el podcast en el que tratamos de acercar las oportunidades que en el marco de la internacionalización, de la exportación, la inversión y la captación de financiación, el país presenta para la empresa española. Welcome again to Oportunidades en Grecia, the podcast where we try to get business opportunities regarding exports and investments in the country, Greece, closer to Spanish companies. Today, in this our 31st episode, we will tackle a distribution channel more and more important in the country, the e-commerce, the online channel. We have the opportunity to speak today with Makis Savvidis. Maki, how are you?
I'm fine.
Great to have you here.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm very happy I'm here today.
It's wonderful to have you here in Oportunidades en Grecia. Makis is the expert of today. He holds a master's degree in international investment and finance from Brunel University in London, a master's in information systems from the HOU, and currently serves as vice president of the Athens Traders of Commerce, represents Greece in the European E-Commerce Federation, E-Commerce Europe, and is vice president of the Hellenic E-Commerce Association, so-called GR.EC.A. On top of that, since 2005, he has led the family business group, SGC, founded in the 60s, which operates some of the largest and award-winning online shops for watches, jewelry, and accessories, as well as one of the largest online jewelry stores in Europe. I think that could frame your activity and why we are lucky to have you here. Very briefly, to locate the issue, why the online channel today, why we're talking about this after quite some months. I think the last episode was more than a year ago. We interviewed the CEO of Scroots. Well, the channel has been growing double digits for years. That has slightly slowed down in the last year, 2024. Single-digit growth, still good growth, and better perspectives for the rest of the decade. On top of that, we keep seeing entrance of international players in the market. Lately, in the last couple months, Base.com, Shopify, and local platforms are showing quite some muscle investing. For instance, the case of Shopflix. In any case, there's a persistent structural challenge on the market, and all of that makes us think that there is an opportunity for companies, very specifically for Spanish companies at this very moment, and we think it's time for them to take advantage of the situation. So without further ado, let's jump into the Q&A. Makis, thank you again. Let me ask you more of a general question. How do you assess the degree of digitalization in the country today, in Greece? Any chance you could give us a description of the different degrees of digitalization of the population, or depending on geographies? How digitalized is the consumer, the administration?
Yes, today Greece has a digitalization of its population in around 85%. From this 85%, 70% is online shoppers. They have bought just one or more products or services last year. So we are in the average of the European Union. We are exactly in the same position as Spain is. There is a maturity for the Greek e-shopper after COVID. And after all this mass e-shopping, now Greek e-shoppers are mature. They are not looking only for quantity and price and other quantitative matters, but they are focusing on quality of the product, quality of the after-sales service. Geography is not affecting the digitalization. From our data, all over country has the same percentage of digitalization, both for all age ranges and between sexes, males and females.
Well, that's interesting. Anything you might add about consumers or administration? There's been a lot of work done with the administration.
Yes, a lot of work have done in administration, and especially for the services that the government is offering throughout the many ministries, like in health ministry, like economic ministry, which helps a lot not only citizens but businesses. But there are a lot of steps to be done in order to achieve a good level that we are targeting all the South countries like Spain, Italy and Greece to proceed and to be like Northern European countries like Germany or Scandinavians, which has managed to digitalize their administration and offer almost 99%, almost 100% digital services to all citizens. We are in a good position now. We have achieved 70% digitalization of the administration.
That's huge.
But yes, it is. Huge. But there is still work to be done to achieve 100% because our goal today is 100 digitalized. So governments, not only in Greece but all over Europe, should be 100 digitalized. This is a very ambitious target, but I think in the following 5 years, Greece will achieve this percentage.
I take that digitalizing the administration by the end of the day makes it mandatory for some parts of the population to use the channel, and they might go from using the channel with the government to using the channel for their day-to-day life. Online shopping and so on and so forth.
It is very important, of course, but there are some problems like the age problem. Citizens over 75 years old are not so familiar with technology, and this is a problem how to train them to use digital tools to communicate and with the government and to make their obligations. And the other part is the immigrants, which are speaking different languages, who cannot enter the world of digitalization with government because there is a limitation on the languages that the platforms are offering, like Greek, of course, English, French, Spanish, and other basic languages. They cannot add all languages all over the world. So we have steps to be done.
I will ask you afterwards about language because that's a tricky one, and I think the Spanish company should know better, should know more about that. Now, back to different sorts of e-commerce, if we could classify them, talking about B2C, business to consumer, B2G, business to government, and cross-border. Which sort of company does e-commerce now in Greece? All sorts of companies. Can you find all sorts of goods and also maybe services that are sold through the internet, online? Which sector sells more? And I would like to ask you a very specific question. What's the way to go now for the companies? Is it because they can choose between having their own website and selling through their own website? They could also sell in e-shops which combine products from several suppliers, and they can also use marketplaces. What's your take? Does it depend on what they're selling?
Of course. The Greek recipe is that we use omnichannel, like other countries in Southern Europe. Omnichannel is the recipe because of the climate we have in Southern Europe. So customers' behavior is that we visit stores, physical stores, we wear clothes, and then when we are ready, we are ordering online. And exactly the opposite. We make the research online, and if we are interested in some products, we go to the stores, the physical stores, and we buy again. There are many direct e-sales, but those are for below the limit of 300 euros. This is the limit for the Greek market and the limit for Southern Europe. Below 300 euros, the majority of e-shoppers are preferring to buy online. Over 300 euros, they are preferring to see the products online and then go to the physical stores to buy. This is one aspect of the Greek and Southern Europe behavior for e-shoppers. You asked me about which companies are making e-commerce. Mainly, 100% of the large companies in Greece are offering online e-shops for their customers, 100%. And as we reduce the size of the company, then we reduce the percentage. The main players for the Greek market, though, is the SMEs, small and medium businesses, which are offering now 70%, around 70% of the whole product inventory that is being offered in the Greek online business. There are small, very small companies that are offering and selling online, but their exposure and their strength is limited. And now, when the online and digital game has become expensive, many small and very small companies are leaving this game. So in the following years, we are certain that they will remain small SMEs and large companies. And large companies is preferring only to sell by their own e-shops because they have the power to advertise and promote their products, and they're attracting people in their e-shops in which they can offer extended after-sales service, more promotions, gift cards, loyalty systems, etc. SMEs are preferring marketplaces and in-shops, a combination, both with their physical stores, because for the Greek online community, 87% of the e-shops in the country are an extension of a physical store. So they use this combination, a marketplace, their own e-shop, and their own physical stores to sell to the Greek shoppers and to Europeans.
Well, very interesting and very important. I think there is a role to play there to organizations like the Hellenic E-Commerce Association, and also to the ministries helping small and medium-sized companies to break into this channel. I was mentioning also, I wanted to know also what your thoughts about cross-border. How developed is cross-border these days?
This is a subject that I'm working with in the last 5 years. I have invested personally a lot of time and energy to help Greek companies to do cross-border e-commerce. This is our main pillar in the Greek E-Commerce Association, how to help Greek e-businesses to go out of Greek borders and start selling first in the European Union and then in the world. This is a very difficult, it is very difficult for a Greek company, which is, and especially for the SME Greek company, to go out of the Greek borders, because like Spain, not like Spain, even more than Spain, we are on the edge of Europe. We do not have, for example, the logistic, the ease of the logistic that Spain has with the border with France, and it's near the center of Europe. We are on the edge of the Europe. So one problem that we face, and it's very important, is the cost problem of logistics. We cannot send cheap shipment our products to Europe first. And second, the second problem for the Greek e-commerce, cross-border e-commerce, is the fame. Every country has its own fame and how reliable it is. We have lost a percentage of our fame during the last decade's economic crisis. So now we are in a good situation, but still, Northern Europeans it is very difficult for the Northern Europeans to choose a Greek shop to make their online purchases, and the same should be for Spain and Italy, etc., for Southern Europe. So there is a problem that the Greek E-Commerce Association has studied and made a comparison. What does it mean for a North European to buy from an e-shop from Southern Europe, in comparison what does it mean for a citizen and consumer which is living in Greece, for example, which is what is the country. So the comparison showed that it is the same for a North European when he chooses a South European e-shop as a South European shopper to choose an e-shop from the Balkans. So it is very difficult for us. Right?
Because I think I recall that there is quite some cross-border coming, of course, like everywhere from China. But I think there's also some cross-border coming from Germany and other countries in Europe. Mm-hmm. So it's the logistics probably. As you said, selling from Greece to Europe is the same as selling from inbound, buying from Greece from the Balkan countries, right?
Exactly. And the cost problem is very important, and we're trying to solve it. We have made a lot of contacts with international logistic companies like DHL, UPS, etc., and they are asking to change the lines and the hubs they have in the area in order to enlarge the Greek hub to lower the cost. So I will give you an example. From Berlin to Athens, they are charging for a parcel below 1 kilo €5 from Berlin to Athens, and in exactly the opposite direction, from Athens to Berlin, the cost is €8. Because of the way they are delivering all over the Eastern Europe, Southern Eastern Europe, their parcels. So there is a road to cross, but we are optimistic that next year, following years, we will achieve a better shipping cost and a better fame for our targeted customers.
I bet that the idea of creating a transport and logistic hub in the country, which is ongoing, will definitely help for that. What would you say are let's talk a little bit about the platforms, the marketplaces. Which one are the leaders in the market? I mentioned earlier that we talked to the CEO of Scrooge. It's one of the main players. Who else is in the market?
The largest player, of course, is Scrooge with 9%. 90% of the market is huge, and then there are many smaller players like Shopflix, Best Price, and other smaller platforms, but it is all about technology. Scrooge, this company, is offering a very good technology to the consumers and to businesses that cooperate with this company. So it is very difficult nowadays for the other players to invest large amounts for technology to come closer to the percentage that Scrooge is having in the Greek market.
It is, I think I heard with George at the time, vertically integrated. They do the
yes, they are. Yes,
practically to the door, right? They deliver. Mm-hmm. They do the last mile also themselves, and
they produce their own software. They have a customer service for consumers, a customer service for businesses. They collect with their courier service the parcels, and they're delivering with the last mile service they have. So they are vertical, and this is very difficult. Shopflix has started tried to copy this successful project, but they couldn't take the market share.
Do you foresee the likes of Amazon or other companies of that size doing something similar here in the country, or do you think they will stay where they are now, serving from Italy or from other geographies?
They started before COVID to investigate if it is a good decision to come to Greece. And they decided, both Amazon, eBay and Alibaba, that this is a good location, first of all, geopolitical location, because of the whole area, because Greece is in the middle of Balkans, Turkey, Middle East, northern Africa. So they have chosen to go on, but after COVID, they did not proceed with the decision. I think that now, with the maturity of both consumers and businesses, it will not give so much to those platforms, because those platforms are old-fashioned to the eyes, to the Greeks now. There are many years in the market. They haven't renewed their websites, the way they are selling. My feeling is that if they want to enter the Greek market, they should enter with a different business plan and this different front face of their businesses.
Very interesting what you said, which is something we repeat constantly to the Spanish companies. Athens, Greece is a fantastic hub to sell in the region. Western Balkans, Eastern Balkans, Middle East. That's something to always to bear in mind. Now I would like to ask you a few questions, looking forward to have, if possible, a short answer, because there are many things we'd like to talk about. So independently of the choice when exporting website, e-shop, marketplace, what would be your tips regarding brand registration? Mm-hmm. And taxes, and then I will ask you a couple more things.
Okay, for brand registration, things are easy. If it is for a company like from Spain to come here and register a company, a name, it is very easy now. 2 or 3 days, in 2 or 3 days, you can start a business in Greece with 10 euros. This is the...
That's very good news.
Yes. The thing is that, like in every country has its own laws, its own accounting system. This is not a big problem. The accountants are solving every day those problems. So the thing that everyone should remember is that in 3 days, with 10 euros, you build a company in Greece.
One-stop shop for the taxes?
One-stop shop, yes.
One-stop shop. Labeling. Our customers, let's say, the Spanish companies, usually want to know more about the awareness of social and environment issues. Are those things to be taken into account when labeling the brand, the product?
Yes. The environmental aspect is not so important for the Greek consumer. They don't count it in a high percentage. Sorry. Many products have launched last years which had a clear environmental aspect, but they failed because this is not what the Greeks and I feel the South Europeans want, in conjunction with Scandinavia, for example, which are producing environmental friendly products, and they are choosing the reason of why they are choosing is mainly this. For the Greek consumer, I think this is the last reason.
And I think there are other things, right? Quality, price, time delivery, and so on and so forth. Another question, quick question, logistics, last mile difficulties. What would you do? Is it better to use collaborative models or to work directly with platforms? Does that depend on whether you are an SME and you have your logistic capacity? What would you say?
From the cost, if we make a cost analysis, the cost is exactly the same for both solutions. because we have a lot of courier services, courier companies in Greece, and they deliver with a low cost. For example, we ship a parcel from Athens to every point in the Greek territory with 2 or 3 euros. So this is the cost. This is a very low cost, and this is the cost that the platforms are charging to. So it doesn't matter which way. I would say that sending by your own with a courier service is better, because you have all the tracking tools so that they are offering, and after the delivery they can be more reliable, because they have not only the parcels that they want to deliver, for example, in the last village in the Greek territory, but they are sending post and magazines and mail and other
I understand.
Things with the parcels for e-shops. So it's more, I think it is more reliable with a courier service to the products to be delivered.
I think that's good news. There are alternatives, so you can always choose. Payment methods: mobile versus card versus cash. What's more used? What is the trend? What could we expect to happen?
The trend is that 2/3 of the payments are being done with electronic ways. Google Pay, Apple Pay, and wallets, which have credit cards. And there is still 20% or 20 to 30%, depends on the period, that they're paying on cash on delivery, especially the older aged consumers.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Advertising: Google AdWords versus agencies.
Agencies are not so expensive in Greece like other European countries. We are cheaper. We are cheaper, and this is very, very good for Greek companies mainly. And this is why agencies from Greece are having a lot of customers in Europe. I don't believe that an SME should make its own advertisement without an agency, without the experience and the power of an agency. If you want to have the best result, then you should go to an agency that they will multiply their cost and they multiply your sales.
That's also good to know. SMEs, the recommendation makes a lot of sense. There is a question here. I will ask it to you, although I think you have somehow answered to it when you said that you think that in southern part of the Mediterranean, we are less sensitive to environmental concerns and so on. But quality seals, which happen to be offered almost in every market, such as fair trade, EU eco-label, are those important here in Greece? I think you sort of answered before.
Yes, they are important, not so important like Northern Europe. Greeks are not so aware of this environmental stuff. They are counting it, but still this is not their first priority.
Excellent. And last but not least, language. Is Greek mandatory to sell online in Greece? Is English enough? I have heard all sort of answers, but mostly the first. So that if you want to sell in Greece, you better have your
this is
online channel in Greek.
It's happening all over the world. If it is a fully localized e-shop, then it's more friendly to the consumer. But for a basic customer service, English is enough. If you want to enlarge your sales and invest a lot in the Greek market, yes, then there's a need for full localization, not only for the language in the shop, but for the after-sale service and the call center and all the aspects of the e-shop. But there are a lot of companies that are selling services to many companies that are coming to Greece. For example, call centers in Greek, or after-sale service, or translation from every language to Greek. So it's very easy for a company, for example, from Spain, to come and localize their shop in the Greek way. Because it's not only the language, but it is the way that the Greeks are.
It's cultural, I think, right?
Cultural, yes. Like in Spain, they have
everywhere.
Another way to buy. We have another way to buy. They are similar, but still some details are making the difference.
This is very important because we might be tempted when we come from Spain to do things in English in the country because there is such a high level of English speaking in the place. But yeah, what I hear usually, the answer that you provided, I guess it's a good one. You need to, it goes beyond the language. It's a cultural thing, cultural approach to doing business. Well, that's really fine so far. A lot of information. What's your experience? What do you think about international companies and the channel, the online channel?
International companies which are selling to Greece.
Which are selling to Greece, yeah.
Yes. Nowadays, we all are facing in the e-business market a huge tsunami from Asia with their marketplaces that have left the market of the USA because of the customs and the measures that President Mr. Trump has taken to their economy. So all the energy and the funds, the advertising funds, have moved to the European Union now. For the Greek economy, this is a very huge problem because now the Asian marketplaces have taken for this year 20% of the market share. So there are delivered every day 500,000 parcels in the Greek market, from which 80,000 are coming from Asia. So it's around 20% of the market share, which is increasing. This is not a Greek problem, though. It's a European problem because after the law that Europe has imposed on 2021, they freed and left without VAT and custom charges every parcel that is coming from outside the EU below 150 euros. So now they are started to talking to make a new law to check every parcel from €1 and charge custom charges and VAT and everything else from €1. But this will come after 27. So in this period, we should be ready to lose more market share, like Spain is losing a huge market share from these platforms. And many platforms are coming this year and next year.
Also from Asia?
Also from Asia, yes. From Asia and Turkey now, which has created a very successful model of marketplace with Chinese funds. So they are selling Turkish, Chinese and international brands. So it never stops. If a large company sees there is a window that can enter without paying taxes and have an advantage, of course they will come. So they have time, all these funds and companies, they have 2 years time now to enter the European Union and Greece and Spain.
Till 2027. Well, that was a wonderful talk. Very interesting, with a lot of topics and a lot of information, which I appreciate very much. We talked about the maturity of the market, Your position is that it's an average. We talk about digitization average in Europe, more or less like in the case of Spain, mature already, thinking more of quality than other attributes. We said that the digitization in the administration can eventually trickle down somehow on the end consumers in the e-markets, and they would benefit of the mandatory activity with the administration through the channel. You mentioned very interesting omni-channel practice. So under 300 euros, people buy on the internet. Over 300, they do it hybrid. They check in on the internet, go to the shop, go to the shops, exactly. Buy it through the internet, which is also, I think, very, very interesting and important. Big companies rather have their own e-shops, small and medium-sized marketplaces, cross-border, also very important. You mentioned the logistics. You compare price selling abroad with price of inbound commerce. Amazon, Alibaba, eBay, they tried their luck, or they were willing to try their luck. It looks like most probably that will not happen in the short term. And then with the short questions, you mentioned and you insisted that in the Mediterranean countries there is not such a sensitivity to some issues. So spending on environmental and things like that might not have such a great return in the short run as in other geographies like in the Nordic countries or in Central Europe. Electronic payment methods, 2/3 of it, which I think is huge. And very interesting, the tsunami coming from Asia in the last few years. Asia and Turkey. That was a surprise for me to hear that Turkey is as well participating in the online market. I thank you very much for joining us and sharing with us, Maki. Thanks a lot.
I thank you. It was a very nice discussion, and I hope all the best for you.
This will help a lot of Spanish companies that are thinking about maybe trying their luck on the online channel. Y nosotros nos vemos de nuevo pronto en Oportunidades en Grecia. Aún queda mucho por conocer. Moda, farma. Hasta pronto.